Howdy. I think this is not cutting my head off. Let me check. I'm lousy at photography. I am lousy at photography. Well, that looks okay. Let's see if it works. First of all, excuse the sound. A major highway is right behind me over here, but that can't be helped. Hopefully this boom mic works and keeps the noise down a little bit. Anyway, this is an unashamed bragging session. A few years back I got into black powder shooting. I just, on a whim, I picked up a revolver and I thought, this is kind of cool. And I thought I'd show off. The problem is when I get into something, I get kind of obsessed by it. Well, let me show you what I got. This is my horde. This is actually a Remington New Model Army in '36, and this was my first one. Now it's got some problems with timing, but it works pretty well. Well, soon after that, I picked this up. This is a copy of the Spiller and Burr. It's done by was done by two Confederates during the Civil War as a sort of a substitute standard for what they needed back in the South. This was, they didn't make many of them, but it was a total disaster. This is based on the Whitneyville, the Eli Whitney revolver, also in '36. This was one of my more recent purchases. This is an 1847 Colt Walker. This is what Colt and Samuel Walker designed for well, after the Seminole War, where Walker fought. He liked the Patterson revolver. I don't have a Patterson. And he asked Colt to design this thing for him. It's a horse pistol. You cannot carry this thing, and if you shoot it, you'll understand why. The thing has a kick like a mule. Next, speaking of mules, this is a Lamott. Now, Lamott was a cousin of General Beauregard, and Beauregard carried one of these all through the Civil War. It's a 9-shot plus a 20-gauge shotgun barrel revolver. It was quite popular in the South, but it's not the most practical thing in the world, but it's a very interesting revolver. And my next to the latest acquisition is an 1862 Colt Pocket Police. This was designed at the request of the New York City Police Department for a pocket pistol. It's a little 5-shot 36. Incidentally, this is the last gun that Samuel Colt himself worked on. He died in 1862, the year this came out. These two are interesting too. This is a Texas Dance revolver. This was a design of a couple of brothers in Texas, and again, it was to help out the South in the Civil War. Thing about this one is the plates, or the rounded area of the, you'll notice on this Walker, where it's rounded back here, and here on the Dance is flat. This is to avoid having the flashback from the caps coming into your face. Well, on the Dance, they were just trying to save money because the South was a little bit short on supplies at the time. This is a Pieta, and these are all replicas, by the way. This one's kind of a rarity these days. And this one is very rare. This is not technically a Civil War revolver. This is a, what's it called? Dang, I don't know why it is, but the name of this thing completely escapes me half the time. Well, let me see if it says on it. It should say on it somewhere. It does. It's a Roger and Spencer. This was something that the North commissioned because they were running out of Colts and Remingtons to use, and they wanted something else. So, there were many revolver companies that were supplying the North. Star is another one. Well, Roger and Spencer was another, and they came up with several thousands of these, and they gave them to the War Department just in time for Appomattox, which means that none of these were actually issued. Well, the government had already ordered them, so they packed them off to the government, who then put them into storage like the government does. And every one of them was sold surplus to a fellow by the name of Francis Bannerman, who ran a surplus operation. And for many, many years, you could buy these out of his catalog. Well, this is a Euro Arms copy of it. Euro Arms is no longer in the black powder business, so this is also kind of a rarity. I have a couple of others on order right now. One that should be here soon is the one that's in between this and the 1860 Colt Walker, between the Walker and the Colt Army, and that's a Colt Dragoon, which should be here in the sometime this week. But you see, I'm obsessed. When I get into something, I get into something, and I really got into this, and I learned a whole lot about history doing it. You know, every one of these is fun to shoot. They're awesome. They're part of history, and they're just, from a mechanical and a gadget factor perspective, they're just very fascinating, very interesting, and I love it.